Hey guys, this is Brian Chan again from Mind Data Intelligence. Today, the topic I'm going to talk to you about is artificial intelligence data collection. This is part of my data management series. In the current advancement of artificial intelligence and technologies, machine learning has always been associated with AI. And in many cases, machine learning is considered equivalent of artificial intelligence. Machine learning is actually just a subset of AI. This discipline of machine learning relies on data to perform AI machine learning training, whether it is supervised or unsupervised. Supervised machine learning is the training of machine using a sample of labeled class data to train the machine about what is right versus what is wrong. So after thousands to millions or multi-millions sample of data, the machine gets to understand and observe patterns. And on the other hand, unsupervised learning is to let the machine to learn on its own by trying to identify patterns based on provided data. The machine isn't told what data is right, wrong, useful versus not useful. The machine just have to figure it out themselves. So this is what unsupervised learning. In both of the above cases, the most important factor is not the algorithm or the software that you use to learn the process, because with the advancement of machine learning algorithms or software, there is always a better algorithm tomorrow. But the most important thing is the quality of the data. Once you get the data right, you can always train, retrain, use new technology to learn and train your machine again, as long as you have the right data to begin with. So basically, data is the soul of your machine. It can always go to a new body. Think of a robot, right? It can go to a new body if the machine is old or is outdated, but your data is always the heart of everything. In my experience as a data scientist, as well as applied intelligence project leaders, the most time-consuming portion of a machine learning project is not waiting for the machine to learn from the data, but actually in the time spent by data scientists, machine learning engineer to prepare the data to be trained. On average, I would say 70 to 80% of the time in a project, specifically AI data science machine learning projects, is about preparing data. So what does preparing data mean? Preparing data means a couple of things, but not limited to. Number one, identify the data required for your project. Number two, understanding whether you have the data somewhere in your organization or where you can have access to. Number three, profile the data, understand what data you're actually getting. Number four, source the data. So this is the actual data engineering by integrating your system, bringing the data from different sources into one centralized places so you can learn the data. Number five, that's integrating, right? Putting all the data in one place is not enough. You have to make sense of all the data together. Number six is cleansing the data. You may have millions of records of the data, but if they're in bad quality, you need to cleanse them or you need to take them out. Because if you have bad data in your training, it will mean that your machine will be trained and the results will be dramatically different from training with good data. And seventh, you need to prepare the data for the learning. So making the data in the format that's understood by your machine and feed it into that. Even I only have 7 steps, but these 7 steps will determine whether your machine learning project will be a success or not. So how do we avoid a machine learning failure by applying MindFold AI data collection? To avoid spending too much time preparing the data and end up with the high possibilities of not bringing values to your machine learning AI project, the best suggestion that I can give you is to practice MindFold data collection. No pun intended for the name MindData that I have. What is MindFold data collection? MindFold data collection is the practice of considering the uses of data before you even create them in your environment. In a typical case, when you create data in your ecosystem, you think for one reason only: transactional. You want to use the data to perform a certain type of workflow between you and your customer, or between you and another employee in the organization. You create the data for the sake of satisfying certain process. MindFold data collection takes it a step further. A MindFold data collector, what I call, would consider if such data points are already existing somewhere within the organization. If the data point has already existed within the organization, the better choice is to leverage the metadata and the format rather than reinventing the wheel. And to practice MindFold data collection, there are a few places you can start. Number 1, look at the exist data dictionary that your organization have. Number 2, you check with your data governance organization. And number 3, you talk to the owners of the major processes within your organization. Number 4, you look at published open data standards that's outside that you can leverage. MindFold data collection actually includes more. It includes MindFold data quality. In artificial intelligence, collecting the data is not the only thing, right? But the quality of the data is more important as well. So there are many factors you should consider regarding the data quality in your data collection. Number 1, you need to look at the data quality requirements. Number 2, what rules you want to use to manage your data. And number 3, what are the data policies, right, including privacy and security. Many of my clients used to consider data quality as a management opportunity, or a fix that is required to manage the data as a strategic asset. They are not wrong, but data collection and data quality are more than that in today's world, especially in the new world of AI. The opportunity and values of managing data collection as well as data quality upfront is big. Remember, I mentioned that 80% of the time during a machine learning or data science projects are spent in data cleansing and data management. Imagine you can save or shorten that time by 50%. And imagine the dollar amount of valuable time from skillful and expensive data scientists and machine learning engineer you can save by being a little bit more mindful. And imagine the flexibilities and agility that your team can have if you reduce that much time in all the data science hypotheses. Lastly, if you think there's an opportunity in your organization to take advantage of MindFold data collection, my suggestion would be go for it, explore it, and test it. You can always start small, you don't have to boil the ocean, but I assure you that you will see the values very quick. So let me know your thought about MindFold data collection in artificial intelligence. And if you have any questions or comments, please put it in the comment section. And if you like this video, please give us a like. And if you like the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Again, my name is Brian Chan. This is MindData intelligence. Thank you for watching.